Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. And this video is to bring you a closer look at the National Guard products PF180. This is a rigid black vinyl self-adhesive seal. This material is used on the inside corner of a frame between the stop face, or the face of the stop, and the rabbet to allow that door to close up and seal right on this flap, conceal down. Self-adhesive tape on both of the legs, made of vinyl. This is the black. This is what they call black. The top of my desk is black, and you can probably see it over here. It sure looks quite complementary to black. Okay. Available in pre-cut lengths: 3 foot, 4 foot, 7 foot 2, 8 foot, and 10 foot. The 10 foot is brutal to ship because of the length. They can't ship that in a roll, so it has to go common carrier. You might want to consider immediately ordering shorter lengths and then just splicing them together, butting them together, I should say. Dimensional properties on this item: they've got it at 7/16 of an inch width. I'd say that'd be accurate. Yeah, 7/16 square. Now, where you're going to install this material, I think, is going to be dependent on where on the frame, or how you're going to install it. How you're going to position it will be dependent on whether you're installing it on the hinge jamb, the header, or the strike jamb. If it's going to be on the hinge jamb, you're going to want to have this this leg, the leg without the flap, on the face of the stop, so that when the door just closes, it's just going to, the push face of the hinge style of the door is going to simply compress that. And you would do the same at the header as well. But when you're installing it onto the lock jamb, you're going to want to have it so that when the door approaches this, it will just simply make contact with this flap. So your positioning is going to be based on what part of the frame you're installing it on. The material is shown there to illustrate what I'm attempting to say. There is a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure, and when you open that up, you can see what I'm trying to say. Your head and your latch side will be positioned accordingly. I said that backwards earlier. Where the flap is going to compress against the face of the stop, whereas on the hinge side it will compress against the rabbet. And it's illustrated there. It's really the most elegant way to go about installing that material, and that's obviously how you'll do it. The nice thing is that it is fire rated for up to 3-hour metal door installations and 60-minute wood door installations. You can also see the self-adhesive Q-Lon that's there as well when it comes to the self-adhesive gasketing. The two-way tape provides an excellent, cost-efficient, effective means to hold the material down. You will want to certainly be sure that your frame is clean and free of dust and debris. Clean that completely. If the frame has been recently stained or clear coated, you want to make sure that that material is all cured at least a week. You want to install it only at room temperature. Because it's rigid, you don't run the risk of stretching this out, but you've got to really get that inside corner properly positioned, because while the material is incredibly thin, it will take up a measurable amount of distance. And if you already have an incredibly tight margin, you want to be sure that you're not impeding the door closers, especially if it's fire rated, to get the door not only closed but latched. So a nice tight installation on the inside of the frame is what's going to be most crucial. What I've done in the past is I've made sure that I've got my one leg attached and then relatively loose, and I will pinch the material in as I peel the paper away and get it placed and pushed, and plenty of pressure for as long as you can stand, 60 seconds at least, to get the material adhered down. So it's a very effective way to not only seal the door but become compliant with the UL classification requirement that you might have on the door. Speaking of installation specifically, there is a link below this video to a document called Installation Instructions, and it summarizes what I've said. Room temperature, very clean. It does also say do not remove and relocate. You don't want to do that. Measure the size, cut everything to fit, dry fit it, make sure everything fits correctly, and be sure that you have trimmed the jambs or the header based on your door size to account for the fact that one piece will already be installed. So cut everything first, dry fit everything first, and once you know you've got the proper lengths, then proceed with your installation. Just don't pull it off, because it will it's going to compromise the adhesive's ability to stay where it needs to stay permanently. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page, where you can pull up not only all of the National Guard products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the National Guard products, PF180, rigid black vinyl, self-adhesive seal, or any other National Guard product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you very much.